Guys, what is going on? It's Dom Geralds here to take over the Worship Drummer Instagram account, which I'm super stoked because I get to hang with you guys. Shoot, we're gonna have us some fun today. Shoot. I am currently out on tour with John Mark and Sarah McMillan for the Body and Ghost tour. Today we are in Washington, D.C., and there was a lady passing by on a bike and a man passing by on a bike. But feel free to ask me any questions you want to ask. But yeah, ask me anything you want to ask. I'm going to give you guys a rundown of my gear, what I'm using, why I'm using it, and yeah, just show you all the things that I have going on while I'm out on tour. Yes, I have played on 2 Elevation Worship records. The first was Only King Forever. The second was There's a Cloud. And I've been with John Mark for about 1.5 years now. And my favorite songs to play. Favorite song to play for Elevation, I'm gonna have to say my most recent is Here Again, off the new record. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. Hallelujah Here Below. And for John Mark, Nothing Stands Between Us. Actually, the first thing I set up is my rug. I don't set my bass drum up first. Gotta have the placement of the rug. Alright, gonna give you guys a quick rundown of my kit. So it is a Keystone Ludwig Maple and Oak. The kick is 22 by 14, 13 by 9 rack, 16 by 16 floor. And for my snare, I'm using a 14-inch by 6.5 Black Beauty. It's glorious. And then an 8-inch and 10-inch Rototom, also glorious. All right, for my cymbals, I'm using a 22-inch traditional dark, 16-inch 30th anniversary hats, 26-inch traditional dark ride, 24-inch trash hit stacked with the 22 exist ion, all Istanbul glory. All right, so the heads that I'm using for my Rototoms are the controlled sound clear with the black dot in the middle. And then for the tops of my rack and floor are coated Emperors. And for the bottom, I am using clear Ambassadors. Alright, so for the batter side of the kick drum, I'm using a Remo Power Stroke P3 Clear. It's awesome. And then for the front, I have an Aquarian art design that John Mark got, but normally I have a Fiber Skin by Remo as well on the front. And for my snare, I am using a Remo coated Emperor. I normally like to use a Controlled Sound X, but for now I have this one on. And on the bottom, I have a Hazy Ambassador Clear. And yeah. And for the bottom, I'm using a 24-strand Pure Sound snare wire. It's the custom one, and it rules. I am also using the rolling pad. Sorry, it's labeled Sky. I was playing Touch the Sky one time a long time ago and never changed the kit. But I am using samples off of this for a few songs on this set. And over here is my Ableton rig, literally just using this MIDI controller to fire tracks that I have mapped out. And I am connected to a Scarlett Focusrite Gen 2. Sticks that I'm currently using are ProMark 7As and the 5A longs. That's what I have going on. Sometimes I use the 5Bs, just depends on what I'm playing. Reason for using 7As is so I can get more definition from my cymbals, and so I can, hey, there's Sarah McMillan. So I can get more definitions from my cymbals. So I have been playing drums for 11 years. It'll be 11 years this November. And I dabble on other instruments, like keyboard and bass, but not that great at them. I didn't grow up playing music in church. I started out playing hand percussion when I was 18, like djembes and bongos and stuff like that, and then transitioned into playing drums when I turned 21. So yeah. So this page is basically for drummers who are connected in their church serving on the weekends, and can see different drummer setups, rigs, and how they play on Sunday morning. Also a place for drummers to connect and reach out, ask questions about certain things, about rolling pads, type of cymbals, type of drum heads, recording, fun stuff like that. So it's cool. So those headphones were called the Sound Sport wireless in-ear headphones, and they're by Bose, and I got them from Best Buy. This is probably like a cliche answer, but honestly, hard work, the Lord's timing, being patient, and just like working my tail off. And yeah. And it's super helpful to have people around you that see and believe things in you that you wouldn't normally see or feel like you have within yourself, and they help you develop. So for me, playing at the Ballantine location, I don't have to bring my cymbals or snare anymore because they already have those there. That's taken care of. But if you're playing at a different campus, yes, you would bring your own cymbals and your own snare. I'd say my biggest influence would be Steve Jordan, obviously, Groove Master, but there are so many other drummers who have impacted my drumming. I'm gonna run down a list here in a second. All right, so we have Carter McLean, Lee Worley, Jacob Arnold, Jesse Proctor, Al Sergel, Brad Davis, but you guys probably know him as Adventure Drums. Who else? To continue my drumming influences, Brian Blade, Levon Helms from the band, Terrence Clark, John Bonham, Chris Daddy Dave. So all these guys have a major impact on my playing, and look up to those guys and many more. There's tons more, but that's just a small list. So with Elevation, yes, there was an audition process, which the first time I did not make, and I was super bummed, but Mac saw potential in me, shout out to Mac Brock, and second time around, I made the team. Obviously, there's more to the story, but that was just a little quick version of it. But as far as for John Mark, it was word of mouth through my buddies, Jeremy and Price and Chris McMillan, just pitching my name to him. But then also the opportunity presented itself to be able to fill in for Jesse, the old drummer, and it was just the right time for a transition, and it worked out. I know I keep popping up at random places and having different outfits, but at one point I was loading in, and then the next point we were sound checking, and then I went to shower, and now I'm in the green room. So I have a Keystone Maple and Oak Ludwig drum set. The sizes are 13 by 9 rack tom, 22 by 14 kick, 16 by 16 floor. If you go to the story earlier, you can check it. I mean, Ludwigs are classics. And honestly, for this run, with the songs that we're playing, some of the older tunes from the Medicine, just the tone of this kit is why I chose to take on tour. So you have Audix D2s on the roto toms, Audix D4s on the rack and the floor tom, D6 outside kick, Beta 91 inside kick. So on the top of the snare, there is a Shure 57 classic. We had a bottom snare mic, but we moved it to placing it above my kick drum to get my rim clicks that I'm doing on the rim of the hoop of the bass drum. And for the overheads, we're using the Audix ADX51 smalls, 2 of those. Can't go wrong with a classic Black Beauty, man. Or any of their brass snares. Check them out. Great stuff. Sick stuff. I absolutely love using my 26-inch. It's not meant for everything, but for what I'm doing now, it's great. I still love playing 24s and 22s, but I had a chance to demo out some Istanbul cymbals when I was at Chicago Music Exchange and loved it. Unfortunately, I will not be going on the Hallelujah Here Below tour, but Luke Anderson will be the one out killing it every night. So if we are coming to your town or city, be sure to come out and hang with us. Seeing Lee Rowley play open-handed and just how creative he is, and the things he could do, I was like, okay, I should give this a try. So I'm currently endorsed with Big Fat Snare Drum, Shy Baffles, and JH Audio. Hopefully one day we'll be endorsed with Istanbul Agop, Remo Heads, and ProMark Sticks. So I have never owned a double pedal in my life. I appreciate guys that can play them and play them well. I've just always been a single pedal guy, and find it more stretching to do a lot of double things with just one foot.
Sometimes it seems impossible. Did you give your body up to forge my trust? Did you give your body up just to suffer for my savage love?
So honestly, I'm always trying to get better at anything and everything, whether that's independent, my creativity, my dynamics, my feel. I'm always working on that stuff. Honestly, I make my mix as musical as possible. I love a little bit of everything, guitars, piano, keys, all my drums, bass, synths. Yeah, it's got to be pretty well balanced for me. I want to feel like inspired by it and just like feel everything I possibly can when I build my mix. So yeah. I'd say play in as many bands as you can, take as many musical opportunities, find a band that you can play with, and maybe you guys will tour out a little bit. Well guys, that about sums it up for me here on the Worship Drummer account. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I loved answering all your questions and hanging out with you guys. Until next time, be blessed and peace.